Welcome to Real Love, Real Stories TV and podcast. I am Kanu and I'm the host. Join me as I learn about love from couples who are making their relationships work and from singles who make being single fun. In the guest chair today is, drumroll, Kelsey.
Hey, girl.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about, when your parents set you up on a date and how that all plays out. So Kelsey, welcome. I'm so thrilled you're here.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah. So do you want to do a little bit of an introduction about you?
So I am a serial singleton as of a few years ago. But before that, I was a serial boyfriend person, not even a serial dater. It's like, if I went on a date, got to be my boyfriend.
Right.
And I'm sort of in a weird situation where now, shockingly, I don't want to date at all. But my parents did try. They really, really tried. And I don't think that I've really given them credit because here I am. I'm still single.
Right.
It gives me some good stories. So
I want to hear more about that. So let's back up just a little bit. First of all, cheers to being on this episode.
Cheers, guys. Have a glass, have a little sip while we're listening.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So your parents at one point, I don't know what year that was, but I'm sure you're going to share.
Yes.
They try to hook you up with a guy. So can you talk more about that?
There were a couple of options, actually.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I was dating a guy who my parents shockingly hated. And turns out I probably should have hated also, but I didn't hate him. And they hooked me up with this guy who I knew his aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
And he was in law school. My parents obviously, it's like a great idea.
Okay.
So going to school in Oregon. He was a lawyer in Dallas, so clearly that made a ton of sense. And I was like, okay. So my parents, I should back up a little. My dad especially, well, both my parents, my dad and my stepmom, who is my mom, we're not going to go into that part into this, in this episode. That's too much.
Right. That's
when I say my mom, it's my mom.
Yes.
So they're very much into me being independent, which at the time of my life totally wasn't. But they were like, oh yeah, he's like a Republican. I'm like, oh, perfect. Cause that's totally not anything like I was raised. Like, it's going to work out great. And my dad was like, well, this is how he likes his martinis. And I was like, I don't even know what a martini is.
Because you're
so this would be great. And I'm like, I like cook champagne and like Budweiser.
Right. So this is in Oregon, right?
Yeah, I was in college at Oregon. Okay. And I remember my dad telling me, I was like, well, obviously that's not like my martinis, clearly. So I don't even really remember the details, but he ended up flying out from Dallas.
Oh, so he lived in Dallas?
He lived in Dallas.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And he met me in Portland. I went to stay with my parents. It was this whole big thing.
That was a gentleman of him to fly all the way to meet you.
Yeah, sure was. Yeah. And so I'm like red. Like, I'm embarrassed, but I'm not even really. I'm just like, I can't believe I did this. So he flew out here. Well, flew to Portland. And I remember my mom driving me to meet him. Where the heck did we meet? I think it was at like Washington Park. Okay. Well, that's kind of romantic.
Which is a park in Portland.
Right? Yeah. Sorry. And so we met there. I frankly can't really remember what we talked about, but we talked, I guess. And then my mom picked me up. Yeah. And then took me home, and I showered and put on a dress. And he took me to dinner. So my mom dropped me off at dinner. I was like, oh that's nice. Amazing. This is like the best date ever. I can just like drink, have fun, like don't have to worry about it. So I go meet him at this restaurant. It was my favorite restaurant in Portland. It's not open anymore. Probably not a shocker, but we had a great time. We like drank wine and had a great dinner. And the conversation was good from what I remember. It went very well. Good.
So had you talked to him prior to this meeting?
Okay. Yes. So we talked a lot, like over the phone.
Okay.
I don't even think texting was a thing at that point. I'm like really old. I don't know.
This is when you had to like dial.
I'm like, I don't remember. It was a lifetime ago, but I really felt like I was like, wow, I really like him.
Oh, good.
I was like, yeah, he seems great. I definitely want to marry him, and I'm going to start planning my wedding right now. And then we will meet, and everything will sort of come together. So like, maybe a little forward, but I was like, I should be ahead of the curve. I'm a planner.
A girl's got a dream, right?
Obviously. Yeah. So we go to dinner.
Yeah.
I remember the dress was hideous. But it was cute at the time, but I look back and I'm like, yeah, that was not good. It was just not good. It was satin and velvet, I think. And
oh my God, I need to see that picture.
There was no picture. Thank God. And my mom dropped me off. I'm like, how old am I? Like 5? Like, great. So he also, side note, had rented a green Mustang. I can't. Okay. So he rented me like, more power to him. I don't know why I'm embarrassed, but this is just like, can't even believe this is my life. So he rented a green Mustang. I think he thought it was cool. And so we ended up going out. Like I, at this point, had drinks. Like, and I was like, he's great. Like, he's amazing. Like, I totally want to marry him. Yeah. And I think we got in like in a political discussion, which was like huge mistake, ladies. If you were just starting out, I'm a terrible person to take relationship advice from, but do not ever do that on a first date. Ever. Like, never.
So political discussions are a no-no on your first date.
Just leave that out of the conversation. Right. And if someone, like, it feels like it's diverting to that, just sort of divert away from that because it's terrible. Right. So I was like, oh, this ain't good. Like, something ain't right. Like, this is not good. I'm not comfortable. And I don't know about you guys or you, but I feel like there's this part of drinking where you're like, oh my God, I'm like buzzed. Mm-hmm. But there's the other side of you is like, something is not right here. And you need to listen to that part of your brain that is functioning. Mm-hmm. And I was like, mm-mm. So my friend from college also knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. And she was like, how's it going? I was like, I want to divert. Like, I need abort mission. Like, I don't want to be here. Yeah. So I was like, oh, yeah, I got to go. And so he walked me to my car.
But wait. You didn't talk about the political discussion. What was happening there? I want to hear
more. My God. Clearly, no offense, but he was a staunch right-wing Republican. Okay. That's fine.
Okay. And nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. All great. Right. But definitely did not line up with my belief system. I will tell you that much. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And,
so you got into a heated discussion?
It was pretty heated. And normally I'd be like, whatever.
Right, and you're used to going. Yeah.
No, not in that. I was like, I had just enough to drink where I was like sort of argumentative. But he still wanted to kiss me, so I'm obviously not like jack it up too bad. Okay. So my friend came, I ended up meeting my friend. He tried to kiss me at the car. And I don't even know how this happened, but it gets worse. because before I was, clearly understanding where he was coming from and the fact that we were not a match at all. Right. I was like, you should totally come over to my parents' house tomorrow because my parents are going to have a barbecue. So that's going to be super fun because we're going to get married.
I totally get it because they liked him and they're the ones who set you up with him. So,
I was like, we should totally come over because we're totally hitting it off. Yeah. So I go out with my friend. I don't kiss him. Okay. I do not kiss him. I go out with my friend. I think I danced with a guy from Finland, and I thought I was really good at swing dancing.
Wait, which guy from Finland?
He doesn't live here. You wouldn't know him.
How does he play into this whole?
I went out dancing with my friend, said friend who knew. Oh, sorry, not Claire.
Okay.
Ended up injuring myself. Turns out I'm not good at swing dancing. But I really thought it was good. I actually really thought it was good. And I slammed my knee on the ground and my knee was really injured. Anyways, the next day, it all sort of came back to me I think I invited him over for a barbecue.
Oh, no. He said to go.
So, go to my parents' house and he shows up. And I'm like, what do I do? Yeah. And instead of just being an adult about it, I was very much not an adult and I just sort of ignored him. But it wasn't like there were a bunch of people there where it was like he could sort of talk to other people. It was like,
so it was
just awkward. It was like my parents, me, my friend, and my brother. And mom was like, you should totally just tell him. I was like, I can't tell him. I'm like,
Right. But I'm sure he was picking up the vibes.
Well, he didn't leave. He just hung out. So anyways.
Poor guy.
Feel bad for him. He's now married.
I mean, he came all the way from Dallas. It's like, I might as well.
That's a personal problem. That's not my problem.
Right. But
he
still.
did that. That's fine.
Right.
But it didn't turn into a love connection. I'll tell you that much.
Oh.
And it was very awkward. And I actually now feel bad a little bit how I handled it. But I did see him at Christmas Eve Mass.
Just a little bit.
Some at Christmas Eve church, though.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. And I was like, Jesus, please help. Thought I could just ask you for help. He didn't help, and I just sat there very awkwardly. And his aunt later said, like, it's okay to just tell him. I was like, okay, great. Anyways, cool. Sorry. And so here I am, still single. So
where's this guy now?
I'm pretty sure. Well, if I was a private detective in my other life,
right,
and I had looked him up online, he is an attorney,
right,
and I'm pretty sure, at least last time I looked, he was still in Dallas.
Okay,
and he was married, and I don't know if the kids are his or hers. Anyways, there's kids involved.
Okay.
So he seems happy.
Okay.
And if he would have ended up with me, maybe he wouldn't have been that happy. So.
Well, I mean,
you should probably thank me.
We never know, right?
Yeah. Don't know.
So what if he's single? That's
I know where you're going with it. Nope.
Closed door.
It's done. Nope. I'm just not. I think there's more to attraction than just what you would like initially see in someone.
Right. I agree. Okay.
Like normally I'd be like, well, he's disgusting and I don't want to date him, but he wasn't disgusting. It was just like, I just have like a different flavor now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like it's just not worth it. And I think especially now as like an adult, not like as a baby adult.
Right.
Things that are important to me are a little different. So things like politics and things like hot topics that are important to me have to be important to somebody else.
That's true. You have to align in those sort of,
I think there's like healthy discussion about things where people, you know, they talk about like houses divided and this person is a Republican and this person is a Democrat. I don't think it's as black and white as that. I think there are like real core issues that you have to line up on. And I don't think that we ever would have.
I see. Yeah.
So crisis averted. I don't know.
Right. So that's a discussion that I actually have on my agenda to be talking about houses divided. So yeah. So okay. So I always want to leave my audience with like, you know, a tip or something. What advice would you give to someone who maybe their parents, his or her parents are trying to hook him up with someone?
Sure.
What advice would you give that person?
Gosh. I would say the best advice is you have nothing to lose by going.
Right.
And I think it's hard when you're young. I mean, and I'm certainly not like some mature adult, because please don't take it that way. Like my advice is just coming from me, but I think that I don't have any regrets from that.
Right.
I think that I am actually proud that I didn't take it further, that I didn't like try and make it work, because later in my life, I really was a serial make it worker.
Yeah.
Like ignore the red flags, ignore things that don't matter, ignore the things that are making you think this isn't a match. And I think he's a good person. So I think it's really about if you feel comfortable going on that date, then do it. It's great dating practice, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
And if it doesn't work out, great. And that's okay. And if it does, then your parents are awesome.
Yep.
You know? So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
So,
you know, I mean, having parents, first of all, who will hook you up. I think it's pretty awesome.
It seemed cool at the time. It really did.
Right.
I was like, I think I was a junior in college. And I was like, well, okay, my life's all planned. I'm going to be rich. Husband's an attorney. Amazing. And then I realized like that there's actually a lot more to really caring about somebody than those surface things that you think are going to like make your life totally make sense.
Right.
So
So would you trust your parents again if they were to hook you up?
Well,
would you trust their taste of men for you?
No. Sure wouldn't. Mom and Dad, love ya.
But no thanks.
No. My parents sort of led me in a direction of somebody else, and then I was like, yeah, this didn't work either.
That didn't work either. Maybe third time is a charm.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, you're not going to give him that
No,
one more chance?
No. And my dad has already told me, well, my dad's basically told me there's not going to be anybody good enough, and that makes me sound like a total brat. But the bottom line is, you got to be real special for Dave Coper to like you.
Right.
So you got to be funny. You got to be independent. You got to try and have a relationship with my dad, who is super cool.
Right.
Right? My dad's cool.
Totally.
He's cool. Hilarious.
Although he always thought pretended like I broke with my teeth.
Well, because you were sensitive to it, and when you play it, he plays on that.
And I always fell for it too.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
My dad is really sweet, and I think they talk about women choosing guys that are like their dads.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I've never done that. So you would sort of wonder why I'm single still. But but my dad is a really incredible guy who really does actually see the good in people. Like in everyone, he can find something good.
Yeah.
And he works hard and plays hard. And his wife, who is my mom now, they really have a relationship that's something to be envied. I mean, have fun, they're friends. But would I trust them to set me up? No.
Maybe just a little.
I mean, it depends. Let me just say, I'm not saying no forever. I mean, let's bring Idris Elba to the table, and then I will consider it. I mean, I'm just setting some standards, but whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks.
And cheers to you.
Cheers to you finding love.
Yes. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to go to iTunes. You can subscribe, rate, and write a review. And also, you can always find more information about any of the episodes on my website, www.realloverealstories.com. And remember to follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and it's all under Real Love, Real Stories. Till next time.